covering all 4 major sports in the District of Champions. It's the DC Crossover Podcast with your hosts, Mike Cerrone and Ben Simpson.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the DC Crossover, episode 150. Yes, we've made it to 150 episodes, believe it or not. And we have another one in store for you today. I am Ben Simpson. That is Mike Cerrone. Glad to have you with us. Follow the show on social media, on Twitter at the DC Crossover and at Cerrone16, and on TikTok, DC Crossover Podcast, as well as YouTube. We do put out a video version of the show. A lot to get to tonight.
By the way, the best part is when you say, "Oh, we've done 150 of these." And we say that like all the time whenever you hit like 125 guys.
Yeah,
and all of a sudden
it's always surprising. I mean, it's still going, people.
Yeah, and then you think about it and you're like, all right, well, we've been doing this for like a decade. So it's probably been like 300.
Oh, yeah. No, we've probably done. I mean, because when we were on the radio, we were doing a show once a week, a couple times a week, whatever it was. And then, so there was at least a few years worth of that. And then we had like the Google Meet show that we were doing for a while where we were doing it over Google Video or whatever. And then, I mean, there's been a lot of iterations of the show. But yeah, for this particular one, we're at 150. It's good to have you back, Mike. I was able to I wanted to put out something for the fans last week, so I did a little 20-minute baseball episode because it's obviously been fun to have baseball back, even though the Nats, of course, being last place in the division. They did get a nice win today, though. Good comeback win. Now 5-11, still in last place and with a negative 20 run differential. But hey, we got to win today, so that's all that matters. But I'm excited to talk. I know, again, it's been a while since you've been on the show. I know you've been traveling, and you got spring break and all this different stuff going on. You got the coaching going on. You're a busy guy. You're a busy guy right now.
Right. That's the definition of what I have been, because the sole fact that obviously, as you know, you and I both know, I should say, that 6 days a week is a lot of the week. And not to mention that when you wake up and then you go to work, which I obviously am a teacher, so I go to school and then I leave school and I go right.
Those are long days.
Oh, that's your dude, man. It's been yikes. It's been crazy.
No wonder you got a seltzer to try on the show today.
Oh yeah, and trust me, it's the drinking never stops.
Right.
But that's the thing though, is like it's just one of those things that Saturdays, for me, Saturdays is kind of overkill. It's just like, all right, seriously, we really need to do Saturday, but that's my own personal opinion.
Right.
But at the same time, you think about it and you're like, man, this has been the season's been since late February. So we've already done like almost 2 months pretty much for the most part. And it feels like it's been a week because every single week is a blur for me for the most part. And like you said, obviously spring break and whatnot. So definitely good that you put out something last week because, like I said, I was coming back from Pittsburgh and then I had a game on Monday, so I didn't get home until like 9:45 on Monday and stuff like that. So obviously some games are a little bit different because they're local, but whatever. So anyways, I wanted to get right into a few things because throughout the week, and I've been telling you this for a couple weeks now, that I started to do a list. I used to always have Jess do the list for me, but now I'm actually doing the list myself.
Okay.
And now in my notes on my phone, I just have a bunch of different crap on here.
Okay.
And the first thing that will make you laugh is that the other day, it might have been like a Wednesday or something, I was having a dream, and I haven't had a weird dream in a while.
They come up every now and then, right? Like it's one of those things where it's like every few weeks. It sounds like it's one of those dreams where you woke up and you remembered it too, which is that's a rare occasion for me. That's like maybe even a once a month type thing for me.
Right.
I feel like.
And that's the thing is when you're looking at this, it felt like, and the funny thing is like you're in my mind too much to the point where I'm always thinking, what can I put on the podcast? Because
right.
It's like, oh, I need to write this down because I need to talk about it on the podcast, something like that. So you're looking at this.
Well, we'll just quit our jobs and do this 7 days a week.
Hey, I would love to do it. I'd love to do it.
Somebody pay us $100,000 each, and I think we can make it happen.
I would even take $75,000 each, to be honest with you. So you're looking at it, and I think it was like I said, maybe a Wednesday or something like that. And before games, here's a little preface. So before games, I don't sleep well.
Sure.
No matter if I take a melatonin or whatever. If it's a game day the next day, and we've coached before and stuff like that, and I'm just more of, like I said, the X's and O's guy. I'm always thinking about it. I'm looking at now. Obviously, they don't use scorebooks anymore like we used to do.
Right.
They have an app that's sponsored by Dick's Sporting Goods that's basically gives you all the stats you'd want, all the analytics that you need, all that kind of stuff. So I'm looking at that probably maybe 30 to 45 minutes a day at least, even before the game days.
Right.
So I'm always not sleeping well. So it takes me forever to go to sleep, or maybe I only get 4 or 5 hours of sleep, or whatever the hell it is. So this was Wednesday. We had a game Thursday. So I'm sleeping or whatever, finally get to sleep. And then I have this dream. And let me just preface this, that this dream was had around 3 a.m.
Okay, so you looked at the clock.
Yes, I looked at the clock because I was in that mindset of I just had this crazy dream. I actually wrote it down
At 3 a.m.
Word for word about what happened in the dream and how I woke up.
That's always a fun note to read. I've done that a couple times before, where like you wake up, you quickly write down what your dream was, and then you look at it like 6 hours later, and you go like, "What? What does this even mean?" Yeah.
So, have you ever seen when you're on a golf course, or I don't know, on the side of a road or something like that? There's like wombat things, like the little gopher things.
Probably.
Like the little brown.
So you're talking about literal animals?
Yes, like a little animal.
Okay, like an actual like gopher, basically.
Yes,
but not
basically.
Yeah, okay.
I called it a wombat. I didn't know
wombat was. Yeah, that's a wild.
It's a wild one.
That's from Backyard Baseball.
I know it.
The mighty wombats.
The mighty wombats. Humongous rockets. We'll save that for another day. So here's my story that I wrote down. Walking down the street, I tried to scare one of those wombats, and it started to chase me.
Okay.
It launched itself at me a handful of times, but I dodged it. Then I see a deer starting to chase me.
Oh, my God.
From out of nowhere. And now I have 2 animals just hunting me down on the sidewalk of Route 50.
And knowing your speed, I mean, they're catching you pretty quick.
All right. So here we go. I focused on the deer because of the speed.
Right.
And then the wombat starts to chase me more.
Shorter legs.
And gets faster. And then jumps on my arm and connects with its first bite.
Oh, this is terrifying, honestly.
And then the deer tries to tackle me. And then I woke myself. I woke up by my body convulsing and yelling, "Get the F off me!"
Oh my God. That is some wild stuff. I almost swore. That's some wild stuff.
I had to bleep out the word
That is terrifying.
Oh my gosh. That was, and it's like, I don't know what the hell was happening. Because typically you think of a dream, and it's like, oh, I just watched a TikTok that had the movie Cars in it. Then all of a sudden,
right, where you try to tie it in. Yeah. So where deers and wombats? Where have you been seeing? I mean, you said earlier, when you're on the side of the road or whatever. So maybe you just glanced out your window while driving, you saw a wombat. Because here's the thing: it's like chase dreams, like where you're being chased. It's usually like, the dream experts are like, oh, it's a sign of like, you being anxious about something or dreading something or something like that. So it's like, hey, that makes sense, a game the next day. But for you to have 2 things chasing you, a little crazy.
I don't know what it was. It was a deer and
interesting choices too.
Like gopher thing.
Like a beaver, gopher, like wombat, a mix of the 3.
The worst part is
chupacabra, whatever it was.
The worst part about that dream is I can still close my eyes and picture that.
That's terrifying.
That the part where the thing with the smallest legs jumps out and grabs onto my right arm.
That is the scariest part of the dream. When it's on you and like it's latching on.
Yeah. And I was laying on my
probably
stomach.
Shaking your
I was
arms
laying on my stomach, and I'm usually a side layer, but at the same time, like this time, once in a while you lay on your stomach or whatever. I'm laying on my stomach.
Wait, you were laying on your stomach while sleeping or in the dream?
Sleeping. I was running.
Oh, laying on your stomach in a dream like at night is insane. Like especially for big guys like us, like your gut is just like working against gravity and it's like pushing against the bed. It's just very uncomfortable. Your guts get all
I remember
rearranged.
like I was like laying like this, right? And all of a sudden, like when I woke up, I was like this.
Yeah, that's insane.
It was freaky, man.
That's the craziest part of your story is you sleeping on your stomach. That's risky, man. No, I'm a side sleeper all the way. I'm a tosser and turner, though. I do. I'm constantly adjusting and readjusting. I'm a very light sleeper, too. Like, any sort of noise I'm hearing, like, it's not good. Because I'm always going to be... even if I have white noise machine going, it's like... Dude, I'm telling you, anything gets me up. So, like, it works good where if there was ever an intruder, I'd be awake before the intruder even opened the door. Like, I'd be like, I hear him jingling the keys, or I don't know why he's got keys to my place. But I'm just saying, any little disturbance, I'm like up and like I'm ready.
Did we ever share a hotel room?
I think like once. I think the one time we probably shared it was maybe a couple times, but the one time I can remember is the time where I left my contacts in till like 5 a.m. and so the next morning, like the skin had like grafted onto my eyeballs. It was disgusting. Yeah, my eyes were so messed up because of that. Yeah. Okay. But I don't remember anything super eventful from that. So I don't think I used to be a sleep talker though, for sure. I don't think I do it anymore, but definitely in college I was. I remember when I had a roommate, Dalton used to tell me, like, he would record me sometimes while I'd be sleeping because, like, in the middle of the night, I'd be, like, asking him questions and stuff. He'd be like, but they'd be very weird. I'd be like, did you talk to the princess? And he'll be like, what? And then I would just go back to sleep. It was, I don't do that anymore, though. I don't know why. It was early 20s, I guess. But no, that's always weird. I always have the dream that you remember. It's usually like a once a month thing for me. Right. And then the other weirdest thing, and then we'll move on soon, but we'll just talk about dreams for an hour. The other thing that occasionally is the dream that you have that reoccurs every like 3 years or so. Have you had one of those? I've got one of those where it's like I can't remember what it is, but when I'm in it, I'm like, I've had this dream before. Right. And it's like every few years or so, the same dream will like happen again. It's crazy.
I don't know. I don't know if I've ever had one of those.
The mind is so weird, man. It's so weird that dreams are a thing.
Well, I'm like a weird sleeper, so I'm not like I only snore like when I drink.
I snore a little bit.
Drink heavily or something like that.
Same.
But like there's some times where like and I'll admit this and the funny thing is I catch myself doing it because I'm not fully asleep. So I'm like maybe 33% asleep.
Right.
And then all of a sudden I'm like, 66% not asleep. And I'm laying there and I'm like, I'm going to sleep soon. And then I'm just sitting there and I'm like,
I the sleep groans? Oh, I do that.
Is that a groan? Okay.
Yeah, the sleep groans and moans. I have my sleep Nora, which is the thing that goes under my pillow.
What the hell is that?
So it goes under your pillow. And it has a little sound thing that you keep next to the bed. And so what it does is if it picks up snoring, it will expand. It will inflate. No, it will inflate underneath your pillow and it will raise your head, which will stop you from snoring. So it like changes the angle.
It chokes you.
It does not choke you. It just raises your head enough where like you stop snoring and then it goes back down. And it happens while you're sleeping. You don't even know it's happening.
So what if Abby starts to snore?
She doesn't snore. That's the thing.
Oh, okay. So you're like, well, say she did,
right?
Then all of a sudden, with the balloon on your side start going up.
It's possible because it's on my nightstand. It's this little thing. It's like a little disc that just sits on your nightstand, like next to your phone, and it just like picks it up. And then like there's literally a whole like thing next to my bed where the air is, and it like just goes into this thing and it inflates. I bought it like 3 years ago. It was expensive, but literally it's like worked wonders. I like have because in the past Abby was like, you're snoring all night, you're keeping me up all night and all that stuff. But now with this thing, it's like once you start snoring, it takes care of it pretty quick.
Dude, imagine being a person that's diagnosed with sleep apnea and they have to wear that mask.
Oh yeah, that would be the worst.
Like it's on 600-pound Life all the time.
Oh yeah, of course.
They're like, all right, let me strap.
You and I are both heading towards that at our current pace. Yeah, we keep not laying off the cheeseburgers. We're gonna be in sleep apnea land. Yeah, the CPAP machine or whatever. Yeah, that thing is.
I mean, imagine strapping that thing on and like it's like your Bane going to sleep.
Not quite romantic. If there's no real like shenanigans happening at night once you strap on the CPAP, that's for sure.
Oh, hold on there, hold on there.
Hold on, let me unplug from this machine. Yeah, no, that thing is. I've seen that.
I keep getting these stupid ads, like, and I don't get them all the time, but like it says like, oh yeah, track your sleep, and it's on Instagram or something like that.
Right,
like
there's
Instagram,
always that kind of stuff.
and it's always like, you talked in your sleep at 11:52 a.m.
So that's an app I used to have, but I stopped.
yeah.
I don't have it anymore. That's what I used to. I'd record it like records you throughout the night, and then it like grades you on your sleep. And like, yeah, if you talk during the sleep, it will pick it up and record it. So like the next morning you'll be listening and you'll like hear yourself say weird stuff. Like,
Yeah,
I used to use it.
And this one even said this one that I keep getting the ad for keeps saying like, oh, you farted at 3:20.
Oh,
it's
well,
like,
there you go. That's happening a lot for me. Yeah.
It's like, what?
Yeah.
It makes it so. Why do I need to know that?
Yeah. Well, in case you wanted to know, oh, you pooped your pants again. Another.
Oh, don't start me on that. I have a story from school that I'll tell you off air.
Okay, we'll save that one. This is going to be a very show that we're going to kind of go all over the place. We'll jump into sports for a moment, and then we'll go back into some random stuff here. But there was, of course, big news locally here with the Caps, of course, not making the playoffs, and the end of you know me, I'm terrible at saying his name. It's like it's my crutch. Yeah, Laviolette is 3 seasons and done now. The final season of a 3-year deal. He's getting about $4.9 million annually, and I mean this was definitely pretty disappointing 3-year span. I mean, you had the Caps make the playoffs in his first 2 seasons, but they lost in the first round both times. And then this time, missing the playoffs for the second time in the last 16 seasons. So clearly, it's been a rough stretch here. Now, look, it's not all on him. It's not all on Coach Love, but at the same time, he does happen to be the guy at the helm for a team that was at least making the playoffs year after year, and now having to miss the playoffs. So somebody's going to get in trouble for this, and it happens to be the guy at the top. And so now, I guess one of my first questions is what are we looking for in a coach now at this point? Like because this team is still in such a weird place with the old guys and the young guys and all these different things. Like, I don't even know at this point, like, not that I know that many open possible coaches to come in anyways, but I just mean, I don't need specific names, but I mean, like, what are we looking for? Just somebody to be able to continue bridging the gap of the transformation of this franchise? I don't know.
Well, see, the difference is that the coaches that have been hired in the past, they always have this, I guess you could say, niche for what they like to coach. Dale Hunter, huge defensive coach. Okay.
Right.
Bruce Boudreau, huge offensive coach.
Yeah.
I mean, those were the years with Bruce Boudreau where they were scoring. I mean, geez, they were probably scoring 4.5 goals a game, but then they were also letting in 3 goals a game.
Right.
So you're thinking about, what do you really need from the next coach? Because Coach Laviolette, I mean, he's been to the Stanley Cup. You know, he's a great coach, but
sure,
it just didn't really work out here. Now, I don't know how or why it didn't work out, but also when you look at it, yes, 2 years in a row, his first 2 years here, they went to the playoffs, they lost in the first round. But I just think that when you're looking at the hockey playoffs, you can't sit there and say, oh, my team lost in the first round, like, we got to get rid of this guy. First of all, you know how hard it is to make it to the playoffs? I mean, the biggest thing about making it to the NHL playoffs is that it's a grind, because it's such a physical sport that you never know when a guy is going to get injured and for how long they're going to get injured. Because take a look at this. I saw this the other night when they lost in overtime to the Devils. Their injury report for this entire season: Carl Hagelin missed the entire season.
Mm-hmm.
Connor Brown, who's going to be a possible contributor, 78 games, so basically the entire season. Tom Wilson coming back from injury, 49 games missed by Tom Wilson. That's over half the games, obviously. Nick Backstrom, over half the games missed, 43. John Carlson, over half the games missed, 42. Right. TJ Oshie, 23 games missed, so about a quarter of the season. Nick Dowd, 16. Martin Feravari, 15. So right there, if you look at just Carlson and Feravari, our 2 number 1 defensemen. Right. I mean, that's. I mean, think about it. And who knows if some of those games were at the same time or not. Then you also have Darcy Kemper, 9 games missed, and then Ovi with his dad passing and so on with 5 games missed. So, and again, I told you, and I said it on here, that those 5 games missed really turned the tide of the season because we were in the playoffs.
Yeah,
we were
this team was in the mix.
So that's the biggest thing is you're looking at this graphic and saying the big guns on our team. I mean, Nick Backstrom, yes, he's getting old and he's getting more injured, but he's still one of the best passers in the entire NHL. Nick Backstrom, Tom Wilson, John Carlson, all missed half the season. And those 3 guys are probably 3 of our top, 7 players on our team? If you include Darcy Kemper and how he played last season with the Avalanche. And then you're seeing Ovechkin miss 5 games, obviously, but Oshie missing 23. I mean, it wasn't good. And Carl Hagelin, yes, he's getting old, but he's a grinder on the 4th line. And that guy is out there with his speed and everything like that. So you're looking at certain guys that were key in getting that record this year. Because, again, like I said, how hard it is to make the Stanley Cup playoffs is so difficult. I mean, you're looking just at the conferences, okay? Just at the conferences right now. And I'm not even talking about the Bruins because the Bruins, they got something, they set a record, let's be honest here. So we don't have to talk about them. But you're looking at the Eastern Conference playoffs here. The Hurricanes, 113 points, won 52 games. Pretty damn solid. The Devils, 52 games. 50 for the Maple Leafs, okay? But then you start getting down to the teams that we were fighting against pretty much for the entire season. 107 points to the Rangers. That was kind of a quiet 107 points, but then you're looking 98 points to the Lightning, 93 for the Islanders, 92 for the Panthers. Even the Pens got eliminated the last couple of games of the season. So you're thinking about it and saying that the teams that typically make it, the Caps, the Pens, not in the playoffs.
Right.
The Sabres had a huge collapse near the end of the season where they were close to getting in there, and all of a sudden they collapsed a little bit with a bad last couple of weeks for the most part. Then you're looking at certain other teams. Like I said, the Panthers, they were number 1 last year, and they barely made it in. So you're saying each year something can go wrong. And I think for this, it was more about the injuries rather than anything else. Yeah. And Coach Laviolette, you're looking at his entire record with the Caps. It's not terrible. He was pretty much over 500. Maybe he's like, 65%. I don't have the exact percentage right in front of me, but I have his record, which is 115, 78, and 27. So you're looking at that. A lot of teams would prefer to have that, rather than what they have now. Definitely. So you're looking at it saying that it's tough because this guy knows hockey. He's been to the Stanley Cup with the Preds before, and he's been on successful teams as the head man. But it's just one of those situations when you're looking at what you're asking that where do you go from here? Because a coach has to look at this team and say, okay, they sold some pieces. They got some young guys. They got some guys still coming up from the Bears and so on and so forth. They have a chance. They have a chance with one of the top 10, which is kind of hard to say, worst records in the NHL to get a lottery pick.
Right.
But it's like you're looking at it and saying, this team still has a future. This team has been winning. Yes, a lot of it has been because of Backstrom and Ovechkin over the years. But Ovechkin still scored like 43 goals, and he missed 5 games. So you can add maybe 2 goals out of those 5 games that he missed and say he scored 45 goals when he's like 87 years old. So you're looking at it and saying, great fan base, okay? A little bit easier conference, in my opinion. That's just my opinion. Obviously, you got the Bruins, but it's like, let's be honest here. The Bruins, that was a once-in-a-lifetime thing. It's a record, let's be honest here. But you're looking at it and saying, who are they going to hire next? Who the hell knows? Now, it's going to be tough, but you have to try to find that guy, okay? Because Laviolette, I thought that was a great hire, and so did everybody else. And I was kind of honestly shocked they let him go. But I think there's one of those situations where it's like, what are you going to do when you miss getting to the second round of the playoffs 2 years in a row, and then you don't even make the playoffs? And that's the problem. Is we've also seen it with the Wizards, where why does Ted Leonsis have so much loyalty to coaches and GMs and all that kind of stuff with the Wizards that have been predominantly average to bad, when the Caps go to the playoffs all the time and he fires guys so quickly? Yeah. It's kind of a weird dynamic.
It is one of those things where he seems to have a longer leash for some of those
basketball guys. He loves basketball.
Yeah, he just, as we've said before, like we feel like he just does not give an S about the Wizards, and so he'll just let them just languish forever, and it's just crazy. So some of the guys on the short list right now looks like for the job. One of the big names is Spencer Carberry, who is a current assistant coach with the Maple Leafs, but he was big with the Hershey Bears. He was he was the ECHL Coach of the Year, AHL Coach of the Year. Like really, apparently Washington wanted to keep him, but he ended up taking an assistant job with the Leafs in 21. And so that's a guy who maybe you think about bringing back to run the team now.
I like it.
Another couple names that are being thrown out there. Andrew Burnett, who's an assistant coach with the Devils. A couple other guys. Jay Leach with the Kraken. He's an assistant coach. He's been in the AHL. There was another guy with a Washington connection. Yeah, it was Ryan Warsofsky, who is a San Jose Sharks assistant coach. He came up through the Caps farm system. And he's won a couple Calders in the Hurricane system, and so there's definitely some guys here that
give me the guy that won Coach of the Year twice.
Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah, I mean, I think if I'm the Caps, and it sounded like I saw another article, and this might have been from Russian Machine Never Breaks, but I feel like Spencer Carberry is on the short list. 41 years old. He's one of the hottest names on the coaching circuit right now. We've already got the connection with Hershey there, so like that seems to me like a no-brainer. As far as a possible candidate here if they want to go in that direction. It does seem like, again, he was in charge for 3 seasons at the Bears. He amassed a 104 wins, 50 loss record, and 17 OT losses with the Bears, and even had signed a multi-year extension with the team shortly before departing to take a role on the bench in Toronto. So,
which is a good thing too, because now you're seeing that if that guy somehow accepts the job after we possibly offer him, then he has 2 years under his belt in the NHL, learning from a Leaf system. Yeah, they're not that great in the playoffs, but at the same time, you're seeing him go out there and prove himself in the ECHL, as you said, and also the AHL, and now going to learn 2 years in the NHL. So it's like a good stepping stone to now all of a sudden it's like, hey, here's Alex Ovechkin. You
get to work with one of the greatest players of all time,
exactly,
and all this stuff. Yeah, apparently he was reportedly interviewed to be the Sharks head coach in 2022, and then David Quinn got the job. So he's had these types of conversations with other teams before. It seems like he's been a good candidate for head coaching jobs. So yeah, we'll see. Obviously, it's all speculation for now, but something to keep an eye on for Caps fans is Spencer Carberry, and see if that ends up being something. So we'll keep an eye on that as well. We'll move on. Let's see. I did want to let you have some time. I know you've got some snacks and some drinks to review today. Let's start with the drink, because the drink is I'm really curious about. And actually, I forgot I got to get your special music going here. Because it's the Salt and the Seltzer time. That's what we got to do here, because and I'll let you introduce this drink, but I will say, we were talking about it before the show, is I had not heard of this pack here, and I'm a fan of the Trulies. I mean, I've had, of course, my original introduction to that world was the lemonade pack. And then now I've been really into the margarita pack. I have had the tropical punch pack, and I like, or the whatever the punch pack is. I enjoyed that, but lemonade's still my number one. But I've really been margarita heavy. I'm not a tea guy, so I'm not really into the Truly tea. And then they do have that like berry type pack too that I've gotten once before. Right. So yeah, here's a list of the packs, and I won't name the one that you're gonna introduce, but there's the berry mix pack, citrus mix pack, tropical mix pack, lemonade mix pack, punch mix pack, margarita, and vodka seltzer. And then the one that you're going to talk about. And there's also the iced tea. But Truly is truly, in my opinion, the best in the game when it comes to these seltzers. In my opinion, I feel like Truly has consistently put out the best seltzers. You can take your White Claws and shove them where the sun don't shine. Because honestly, I've had White Claws, and you know what? They're okay. But the first time that I had a Truly lemonade, like strawberry lemonade flavor, or some of those other ones, I was like, this is the greatest thing I've ever tasted in my life.
Oh,
And then I looked at the label and go, oh, there's alcohol in this. Even better. What a wonderful world we live in. It is true. It is truly the best. That truly.
Well, the best part is that everyone sits there, and they're like, at the beginning of the White Claw sensation, everyone was like, "What the hell is this?"
Yeah.
And they were like, "Give me the beer." You know, they're like, "Whatever." Like, and then all of a sudden, like, you had your little pinky out, and you're sitting there, you know, sipping a seltzer, and everyone starts making fun of you. But now it's like, honestly, I go to a bar sometimes after a beer or two. I'm like, "Hey, yo, give me a couple seltzers." You know, because now there's so many seltzers that it's like everyone drinks.
It's lighter. It tastes great. Like, you know, like all the flavors and stuff like that. You're like, yeah, I'm gonna eat. Especially in the summertime. Summertime, it's like you're not gonna drink a heavy IPA in the summer. It's just not really. I mean, Trulies are, especially now with baseball season, things like that. You go out to a ball game, like, there's nothing better than having a couple Trulies at the game. Like, honestly, like I'm a big Bud Light guy. I like Miller Lite. I like all the classics. But at the same time, there's something about a nice little, like, you know, you get that nice little flavor, nice little fruit action on, and then you still get a nice little hit of alcohol, the little head high with the alcohol on that too. It's a good place to be.
Right. And obviously the number one, and we haven't even reviewed it on here because we already know it's going to be an astronomical number.
Sure.
The mango lemonade is, oh man,
it's the best one. Yeah. No,
you know, and what pisses me off is Total Wine stopped selling the case of the lemonades, which makes no sense because now they give you like, oh, here's a mixed one, and they give you like all these different ones. You're like, I just want the lemonades. Like, just give me the lemonades.
Yeah.
Now I don't know if it's because the summer ended or something like that, but it's like just give me the lemonades.
The lemonades are the move.
Give me what I want.
The lemonades are the move, but I will say I am enjoying. I've now bought the margarita pack maybe 2 or 3 times in a row, and I'm enjoying the margarita pack. I really am. I think they're slowly moving into my number 2 slot for sure.
So, the new pack of Truly is called Wonderwall.
Wonderworld.
Wonderwall's
the song.
Sorry.
Wonderworld's the Truly pack. Let me read you the description of this pack, Mike.
I forgot what it's called.
3 new refreshingly light seltzer styles with a hidden twist of fruit flavor in each, plus 1 mystery flavor that will test your taste buds. What will it be? Sip to see. Now this I can get behind.
Oh yeah. So Truly Wonderworld. That's what it's called, right?
Wonderworld mixed pack. Yep, you got it.
So the Truly Wonderworld mixed pack. I went with the Wonder What ... question mark, which is Taste the Mystery. So this is what the can looks like. I don't know what's at the top. I think it's it's question marks and then some like wave, or I don't know what the hell that is.
Yeah, I'm looking at the picture on here as well on their website. Yeah, this is interesting. This Wonder What. So that's the thing. It's like it just says, if we told you what this was, it wouldn't be a secret, but trust us, it's delightful. That's all the information they give on this.
Yep. So here we go. Here's the pop of the top.
Yeah.
Oh.
Mystery flavor. I like that idea.
How about we guess what it is by the smell?
So that's the thing.
I'll guess.
Yeah. I can't smell it.
I gotta take a deep breath.
I feel like they all kind of have that fruity type smell to them.
Oh. It actually smells pretty good.
So this is what I will be interested to know is.
It definitely smells berry.
Okay, yeah. So it's like, is it just another Truly flavor and it's just a random one that you don't know what you're gonna get, or is it something completely new? Like, that's my guess is they're just recycling like a flavor, but they're like, but the whole point is like it's a surprise. You
put the fruit punch in there.
Right. But you take it out of the cooler or whatever, and you're like, I don't know what I'm getting, and like that could be kind of fun. Yeah, I like that.
Because if you think about it, then all of a sudden when you keep refilling this and you have a typical flavor, like say, well, maybe they're setting it up. Maybe it's like it's I don't know, some weird fruit in Africa, and they're like, all right, here's the new flavor reveal.
Maybe it's a fruit like we've never heard of in seltzers before.
Yeah, like a dragon fruit.
Dragon fruit? Yeah, that is a fruit. I'm gonna type in weird fruits.
Weird fruits.
The jackfruit, lychee. We've got the pitaya, which is dragon fruit. They're the same thing.
Pitaya.
Yeah, okay, so there's some exotic fruits here for sure. Maybe they're trying to do that. That's not a bad
think about
thought.
Think about this. This is a new I can market for them right now. Okay.
Right.
What they do is they put a new one in here, and after like a month, everyone's like, "What is it? What is this?" You know, and then all of a sudden they're like, and all of a sudden it's like, it's a pitaya.
Yeah, it's a pitaya, and you're like, whoa, I never even knew what that was.
Yep, and then everyone's
like, it's also called dragon fruit.
It's also called a dragon fruit. We couldn't fit that in the can though. All right, here we go. So the Truly Wonder What? Okay. Obviously 5%, perfect percentage. It's Truly. I prefer Truly over White Claw. That's just my preferable preference.
There you go.
Is that how you say it?
Sure.
All right. Whatever.
Take a sip from this. This is
I need
Truly.
to wash this hat. It's getting really dusty. All right, here we go.
The Wonder
Truly
What?
Wonder What?
We are wondering. He's taking a sip for those podcast listeners.
It's made with real fruit juice.
Okay. Uh-oh. I'm just telling by my immediate read of your face is that you're not loving it. Oof. Now here's the thing though. Here's the weird question.
People
with this
listening are like, what the hell is going on?
But here's the thing. It's like, here's the question though. If whatever you rate this, somebody else could have a completely different experience because it's all random. So it's really just you're rating this one particular can of that nobody else is going to also be drinking. So
I should have brought 2 cans.
Well, no, I'm interested. I'm interested here. Okay. So what would you? What realm? You may not know the exact fruit flavor, but like what realm would you put it in? Like,
so the smell smells orangey, citrusy.
Okay. Do you think it could be this like blood orange vodka flavor? No, that's one of the vodka seltzers. So no, it wouldn't be that.
Well, I tried to smell the can for some reason.
Right.
I mean, it smells citrusy. Let me do it one more time.
Okay.
I mean, it's getting better, but it's like I don't know. It tastes citrusy, but I would agree with you. It's kind of like it feels like it tastes like something else that I've had with them before.
There's a citrus squeeze is a Truly flavor. I'm trying to see anything like passion fruit. You probably would be able to tell if it was one of the margarita ones.
Oh, it's definitely not one of them.
Peach, could it be like peach drop or I don't know. Yeah, there's not that many options here. So yeah, maybe it is like the citrus squeeze or something like that. Do I give it a rating? Because we don't know what the premise of this can is. Right. I bet it is a citrus squeeze flavor maybe. Or maybe it's a combination of some of the flavors they already have or something like that. So you're tasting a little orange in it?
Yeah. I think I tricked my mind into thinking that.
Okay, yeah.
So I've said it enough. So I think it's starting to kind of taste now that I'm down to like here on the can. Right. So I pretty much drank a whole one. It's
Sunday evening here.
It's kind of like it's like tasting a old school Sunkist.
Ooh, okay.
With like a couple shots of alcohol in it.
Okay, that's not bad. I mean, like I agree. Like it doesn't sound like that would be like the best thing on earth, but it doesn't sound terrible. It sounds like it could be.
Yeah. I mean, I think that the beginning part, and it's always like weird. The beginning, you're like, what's an adjustment,
especially when you don't even know what flavor you're drinking.
Right.
So that's different too.
So okay. I have a rating.
Give a rating.
I have a rating of I don't know what it is. So Truly.
Oh yeah. Do I do the drum roll for this?
I'm waiting for it. Truly Wonder What? The rating is 7.0 flat.
Okay, 7 flat. All right, that's fine. Flat. That's fine. That works.
Because it's not down in the 6s, but it's not high enough to get anywhere towards, say, the Three Birds Hard Seltzer Mango Lemonades. Not anything like Smirnoff Pink Lemonade was better and stuff like that. This was just kind of also the mystery flavor or mystery of the flavor is kind of throwing me for a loop. So it's all over the place. I'm going to change to 7. We'll say 7.1. We'll say
7.1 from the Sultan of Seltzer. Again, it is Wonder What? Wonder World Mix Pack. Wonder What is the flavor from...
And Wonder Wall is a song.
From Truly, yes. And Truly, again, it's still the king in the game, in my opinion. on the Seltzer side of things. You can check that
knock
out
on
and
that, that's for sure.
let us know what flavor you get. It's probably different than this because they're all different. So
Is that what you read?
I don't know that 100%. So it could. I mean, the only person that's going to be able to tell is when you drink another one, and if it's a different flavor.
Okay.
You'll have to.
I'll do another one tonight.
Yeah. Tweet about it. Follow Mike on Twitter at Surround16. He's going to have 7 Trulies tonight and then try to get up for work.
I'll try.
All right. Well, we might as well. I mean, now you've had a little sip of the drink. I mean, we might as well get in the food, right? I mean, you got a snack here. Let's do them both. Let's knock out them both.
Seafood crepe. Yeah.
I have to interrupt the intro because Giannis is now out for the rest of game 1. I have his 2 parlays.
That is an emergency, so you can tend to that while I play the intro.
Dry and tasteless.
I guess they just would remove him from your parlay, probably.
No, I said he wouldn't return.
Oh, the game's already started?
Yeah, I think the game started. I like how the game started at 5:30. It's been an hour and a half.
Oh,
that's great.
Never mind then. Yeah,
I'm on a cold streak. Damn it.
Yikes. Giannis. Yeah, there's a lot of injuries going on. I know Ja went down with a hand tonight. He left the game there, but we are going to do Mike's food review here. Again, he's been off for a couple weeks, so he's got to bring it today. He brought the seltzer. Now let's hear a little bit more about the snack he's got in store for us today.
So the snack that's in store, that's been stored in my cabinet for a while, is the Keebler Elves. Which, by the way, I don't like how they changed the Keebler Elf to now some cartoony looking fellow. Okay, I like the old guy. The other guy. I mean,
right, the old guy. I remember what you're talking.
Like the old, yeah. It's like it's stupid when they change it because look at him. Look at his face.
Yeah,
like, that's not the Keebler Elf.
That's
like
looking guy.
That's like the Keebler, guy that lives on a cottage in the woods. Anyway, so this is the Keebler Chips Deluxe Fudgy. It's made with chocolatey chips and fudge chunks. It's brand new from Keebler.
So fudgy. So that's another. So it's not just a Chips Deluxe. It's a Chips Deluxe. And it
fudgy.
Says fudgy on it. Okay, because I was looking at just the Chips Deluxe.
I'm trying to open this. Hold on a second.
Yeah, no problem. So I'm looking at. Is it the? No, it's not the Dipped Duos. I'm trying to find this on Keebler's website. They're being very.
All right,
very annoying. Okay, here's the Chips Deluxe Fudgy. Okay, I see it now. Got it. By the way, side note on the snack side of things, one of the YouTube shows that I know you've seen every now and then, and I watch Good Mythical Morning. They did a Doritos, not quite tournament, but they were trying to determine. They did a panel thing where they're determining the best flavor of Doritos,
right?
And the one that and it was one of those King of the Hill version where it's you got to keep trying to beat it, so they keep putting it up against other things. The one that lasted as King of the Hill for quite a while was the Doritos Cool Ranch Hot, the spicy, the hot version of the Flamin' Hot Cool Ranch, not just the nacho cheese. So I bought a bag today. I have not had it yet. I should have brought it upstairs. Now I can't get it now.
Have you ever had them?
I've never had the for that. I
love. Good. Good.
I love it for the nacho cheese version, of course. But I've never had the Flamin' Hot for the for Cool Ranch. So
not as good. They're good. Don't get me wrong. It's Doritos. Let's be honest.
Yeah, it's gonna be good. Yeah,
they're not as First of all, when you have it, I don't believe there's going to be the red dust on there because it's Cool Ranch. But at the same time, when you think about it, having that red dust on your fingers just knows that you had a nice snack.
Oh yeah, no, it's good to see. So yeah, so this is new from Keebler's. I'm trying to find some info on it online, and I can't even find anything. Maybe
that's the title.
I mean, that's a good thing to have. Where if it's even hard to find any info, then it's definitely probably pretty new.
It already gets a knock from me because you know how they have the Oreos and stuff like that have that little tab that you flip up and then you can close it.
Oh yeah,
so
I know.
That's why you probably heard everybody at home the crumbling of the wrapper because I couldn't get it open.
No, it's tough. I'm with you. The Keebler, that is a mistake. I mean, if I'm any sort of cookie brand now, it's unless Oreo has somehow patented that delivery device, which I can't imagine they would have, then I don't know what you're doing in 2023 as a cookie company and not having the resealable opening at the top, because there's nothing more annoying than having to open it from the side, and then you go it's hard to make the cookies stay fresh after that. It's not a good
It has it, but I couldn't get it open.
So it has a little tab and you just couldn't figure it out?
I'm sliding my finger. I'm trying to
disregard everything I said. He might just be dumb. All right, so what so this is interesting. So this is the Chips Deluxe, but with the fudge, with the chocolate chips and fudge chunks.
So the review of Keebler Chips Deluxe Fudgy is the additive. Here is the cookie.
Okay, so the idea would be there are some of the standard chocolate chips in there, but then there's also supposed to be some chunks of fudge. So if
it's a lot.
Yeah, it does look like quite a covered cookie. So as Mike is taste testing this, here's my thoughts on this. You should be able, if this is a good cookie here, you should be able to distinguish in your mouth the regular chocolate chip, but also get a couple blasts of fudge chunks in your bite. Like, that needs to happen. Otherwise, it's just a chocolate chip cookie.
Yeah, I mean, it's...
Have 7 more.
Okay.
Now, size-wise, they look pretty small.
They're all right. They're
okay.
pretty big. I mean, if you look at, say, my hand...
Well, there you go. Well, how do we know how big your hand is?
I
will say Keebler is a little underrated.
It's the exact size of the top of the Truly.
Oh, okay, that's good. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I will say Keebler is a little underrated in the cookie game. Obviously, they've been around a long time. They're the well-known brand, but I feel like everyone's go-to, of course, is Oreo, and rightfully so. And then I think Chips Ahoy... It's like their regular Chips Ahoy cookie is kind of nubs, but then they do the chewy and they do some different things when it comes to Chips Ahoy that works out pretty well. Keebler is my favorite Keebler cookie. I think is the one with the M&Ms in them. I really like where it's a Keebler cookie and it's got like 3 M&Ms on top.
Cookie.
Yeah, it's really solid. Yeah, for sure. So what are your initial reactions on the fudgy?
The aftertaste definitely can taste fudge.
Okay, that's good.
Because you think about fudge isn't like a chocolate chip. Chocolate chip's supposed to be kind of hardened, and then a James Harden, and then all of a sudden you have the fudge part, and the fudge is more like smooth. So it's like kind of like, if you think about it, it's like consistency of kind of like Hershey's chocolate, that like the squirt bottle, like the syrup. So when you're thinking about it, the aftertaste, I can taste it, but the initial taste is kind of like a regular Chips Ahoy. Like, the Chips Ahoy has bigger chocolate chips in it. This has little nubby ones.
It does look like there's more, but they're smaller.
Yeah, I gotta have another one, I guess, to try.
Yeah, you gotta have one more. Might as well. Probably haven't even had dinner yet, I bet.
Nope.
Yeah.
Okay. So
he's finishing up the chew on his third fudgy from Keebler.
His third cookie.
Yeah.
Yeah. The after effect, you can definitely taste the fudge.
So that's good then, that there's some sort of fudge presence, even if it's not immediately felt in the initial bites, but it does seem to kick in at some point. So it looks like, just from the picture on the box, that they're like little fudge strips, almost, kind of like they're pretty.
Well, that's what I'm saying, yeah.
Chunks,
because obviously the chocolate chips are harder, but then you think about the fudge. Fudge is more like thinned out, so when it melts, it's more of like I say, it's like chocolate syrup kind of thing.
Right.
But it's I don't know, they're all right. I've got a review for them out of 5.
Okay.
So
all right.
I think I'd have to go with a solid 3.75. I mean, it's not like it's not like a double stuff or something like that where it's like what you're getting. This one's more of like they tried something else and it's just a normal cookie.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it blew you away or anything.
No, it's not like, it's good, but it's not like I'm sitting here saying like, damn, these are great. It's like, I'm just like, all right, that'll work. That if you have a couple before bed, it's like, all right, that tastes great.
Right.
Good. It's not like I'm sitting there like, oh my God, like these need to be the next big thing. My biggest thing is when we had the most stuff, by the way, that was incredible. When we had the most stuff, it was
life-changing.
Yeah, it was life-changing. It was like, I could put 2 of these together and make like a cheeseburger. Like it's that big. But then you're thinking about these, it's like, all right, it's just a new one when they just added more chocolate. So
Right.
it's like it's all right. It's all right.
Okay. I mean, yeah, I think that sounds about right from Keebler. Again, they're not really one to make waves. They're not really going to make news with their cookies. They just tend to just be consistent. Where it's like, yeah, this is if you have some Keebler cookies, you're not going to turn your nose at it, but it's definitely not necessarily going to be something that's going to just blow your mind. So it is what it is. I did want to check in on our betting sphere as far as our again, Mike and I did our bet on 60 plus regular season wins for a few teams here, and let's go through them right now and see where they currently stand. Because hopefully you guys joined in on this. It was plus 200 for this parlay. So all right, so we had Detroit Tigers as one of the teams. Tigers are 5 wins now, so they need 55 more. They're 5-9 to start the year. So they've only played 14 games. That's not a bad pace right there. All right, the next team is the Rockies. So the Rockies are 5-11. Okay, so a couple more losses than the Tigers, but they've made it to 5 wins so far. The Pirates have been a great part of this bet because the Pirates have actually been playing pretty darn well. They're 9-7 to start the year. So that Pirates, I mean, they only need 51 more, and they play. They've only played 16 games. They have hundreds of over 100 games left to go.
Right.
That should happen. They could win half of their games and easily pass the mark. So they're in good shape. The Reds 6-9. I mean, they have one more win than the Rockies and the Tigers do, so they're on their way. And then the Royals 4-12 to start the year. The Royals may be trouble for us, Mike.
Yikes.
I will say the Royals have played 16 games, so they played 2 more than the Tigers, and they got 3 more losses. Maybe if I did that math right, but So I will say right now. So right now the Pirates are very comfortable. Reds pretty comfortable. Rockies and Tigers, they should make it there. The Royals, question mark on them for sure, because we got to have these teams win us some money here. That's for sure.
Oh yeah.
And then we did want to throw in, just for those who are interested, of course, our friends at DraftKings Sportsbook, we were looking at some of the playoff matchups and just seeing
For the first round.
For the first round, yeah, throwing out some playoff series props for the series. So I'm looking at them right now here on DraftKings. I'll throw out a couple. These are just some guys to make. So I think at this point, especially seeing how the Kings played in Game 1, I wouldn't mind sprinkling some money. They're plus 125 for the series against the Warriors right now. They did win last night. I think it's worth at least sprinkling some bones on them, just at the plus, with plus money, and especially with them. Yeah, again, do I think they're going to win that series? Probably not. But then again, maybe. I mean, they've been hot. I also am a fan of sprinkling some money on the Cavs. I know that they did lose, but I will say that they're also in plus money at plus 135 against the Knicks. And I think we know that, or did they even play yet in their game yet? I thought they lost. I've got it pulled up here. I didn't watch it. Yeah. That's what I thought. Yeah, the Knicks won. But I will say, with the Cavs being in plus money at plus 135, I do think the Knicks are the Knicks, and they just tend to be a cursed basketball team. So I honestly wouldn't mind sprinkling some money on plus 135 on the Cavs to win their series as well. So I'm going plus money on the Kings and plus money on the Cavs. Kings plus 125, Cavs plus 135.
So obviously, I don't know what your picks were earlier when we were doing these.
Are those the 2 you did?
I know I have the Kings series win at plus 130. It was plus 130 at the time, and that was about an hour and a half ago or so. But then I'm gonna switch over to the hockey realm and go Stars minus 1.5 for the series, meaning that they're gonna win either 4-1 or 4-2, and they're gonna be playing the Wild. Their first game is tonight at 9:30. Series win at minus 1.5 is plus 140. So plus money right there. I just think that the Stars are one of those teams, and they made a run not too long ago to the Stanley Cup final. Didn't win, but a buddy of mine is a Stars fan. He loves the Stars. And that's the thing is, you're looking at this team so far, Heiskanen is one of the best young defenders in the entire NHL. Ottinger is one of the best goalies in the NHL over the last year or so. He makes some miraculous saves, made a miraculous save. What was it, like a week or two ago, which is crazy. And then you're also looking at, some of the guys they have. Obviously, Robertson is one of the best players in the NHL, over 100 points this year. And you're looking at the last 5 games coming into the playoffs. The Stars are on a hot streak. The last 5 games, they've won 5 straight. They played 2 against the Blues, 1 against your Red Wings, and 2 at home against the Golden Knights and the Flyers. Then you're looking at the Wild. The Wild lost in OT against the Preds, lost 3-1 against the Jets, beat a crappy Chicago team, beat the Blues, and lost to the Pens. So you're seeing that they lost to 2 teams in that 3 that are not even in the playoffs. Right. So you're thinking about it and saying, you're going to go to Dallas and see if you're going to beat the Wild? I don't think so. So I got the Kings when I did it, plus 130 series win, and then put your big bucks on the Dallas Stars, minus 1.5 for the series.
I like that. I got one more. I got a hockey one as well. And Vegas can tell too. This Rangers Devils series is really kind of like almost like a pick'em series at this point. Oh, yeah. Rangers right now at plus 100. I wouldn't mind sprinkling some money on there, at least while them being on the plus side. I do like the experience the Rangers have versus the Devils, who haven't been in this stage for quite a while. So I definitely wouldn't mind throwing some bones on the Rangers plus 100, because I do think that is kind of like a pick'em series. I mean, it could definitely go either way. So I think people were saying giving the Devils like a 55% edge over the Rangers, but hey, that's close enough where it might as well. Again, we're trying to get some plus money here, so you might as well bet on a little bit on the Rangers there. Those are our DraftKings Sportsbook picks. Let's see. We're towards the end of the show here. Is the story the restaurant?
We can go fast.
Okay, let's finish up with the restaurant story. I want to hear a little bit about.
Well, it's not a restaurant store. Wait, which one? You want the
Glory Days of Glory?
Okay, you want the Glory Days? Okay.
Yeah, we'll finish the show with that.
So, I gotta rewrite that thing. Okay, so, anyways, looking at Glory Days. Glory Days is a restaurant that, I mean, it's fine. It's
kind of an institution in the area, but it's not ever like it's not like an amazing restaurant. It's just more of like in high school you go and like it's a good place to be like, all right, somebody's in town, like where should we go? It's like to watch like the game or something like that. It's like, all right, we'll just go to Glory Days. Like, it's like an easy, it's literally the phrase let's just go to Glory Days is the most common phrase. It's not like it's not said with a lot of excitement. It's just more of like, yeah, I guess let's just go to Glory Days. Like that's our main option.
Right. And that's the thing is, once in a while we trickle over there because obviously it's one is probably about 3 or 4 minutes from here. And the biggest thing about Glory Days is, like you said, there's a million TVs. You go there, you get some brews, you get whatever, some drinks or whatever, maybe an app and a cheap burger or whatever, and you're done. Now, I haven't had the best experiences at Glory Days. It's not, again, I think
my mom used to refuse to go to Glory Days because we had a couple times where it was just like you're sitting there, there's nobody there, and it takes you like 2 hours to eat your meal because they're taking forever. Yeah. So at one point she put an embargo on going to Glory Days. Really? She was like, I'm not going anymore.
And that's the funny thing though, is that it's that exact thing. Like she was right, because you think about it, and I think 2 or 3 times ago, we're sitting in a booth, and all of a sudden, like, right next to us, they start folding silverware. And you're just like, right, like, what are we doing here? Like, just folding the silverware. So then all of a sudden, we went to Glory Days about 2 weeks ago before spring break.
Right.
We're like, hey, let's meet up. Obviously, with baseball and stuff like that, I'm getting back pretty late. So we know it's open and stuff like that. We go there, Jess meets me there, and we get, 2 partly cloudies. So it's a staple around here. The cloudies that are parted. From Solus, that's the biggest thing. So we get 2 of those, and the lady comes back in like maybe 5 minutes. We're like, all right, it's not that packed in here. So then all of a sudden, we order the buffalo chicken dip. Staple. It's a great option. So all of a sudden, we order the buffalo chicken dip. And then She brings it back like 25 minutes later. But in between that, we order 2 more beers and 2 shots of Fireball. Because I think at this time it was like, I think it was Friday or something like that. I forgot exactly what day it was.
Yeah, cutting a little loose, you know?
Yeah, cutting a little loose. And I'm a Fireball guy, you know, because it's quick and easy. And at my age, you know, just go with something easy. Don't go with freaking some expensive vodka that I can't afford.
Right.
So she pours them, and then they're sitting over there at the bar for 5 minutes, both beers and the 2 shots.
Oh, okay. And you can see them.
Yes. And she passes by us 2 or 3 times and just looks at us and says, "Hey, you guys good?" And we're like, "Yeah, we just ordered the beer." And she's like, okay. And she comes back like 3 minutes later. "Oh, I totally forgot to bring them to you after I poured them." What? Like you pour them.
And what percentage, like how packed was it? Like give me the percentage that the restaurant
75.
was full. Okay, so that's if anything like 90 or above, there's an excuse.
Right.
But like 75, it's like that just sounds
and
like
that
a Friday
Glory
night.
Days. The Glory Days over there in Fox Mill area is not that big. Like it's like literally, you know.
No, you're right.
It's
not,
like an Applebee's.
Yeah.
Like there's like maybe 30 tables.
And the bar is like right there. It's like literally
Right.
the table. It's like there's not a lot of gap.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I'm looking over at this kid that has to be 15 years old playing the slot machines. I don't know how that's legal. And then out comes the infamous buffalo chicken dip. It looked more like bean dip.
Oh no.
That's number one. And
did it look like? Was it kind of looking like a paste?
yes. Like there was not a lot of chicken in there, so they ran out of chickens.
Oh no. Yeah. Okay.
So then all of a sudden, we look at the chips.
Oh, okay. Now I remember this because Jess sent me a picture. Okay.
And the chips were legitimately Fritos.
Yeah.
And I've never seen in my life somebody get a bag of Fritos, a family-sized bag of Fritos, and say, "Hey, we're out of Tostitos over here. Let me just dump these Fritos."
Yeah, Fritos it makes no sense to go with the buffalo dip. It makes no sense.
We looked at each other and like, are we effing serious here?
And
what is this?
Meanwhile, it was probably like $8 or $9 on the menu for this, and it's like you some sort of paste with like chicken that probably had no like flavor or texture to it. It was just some chunks of chicken in there. And then like maybe even just a tiny bit of heat on the buffalo sauce, probably not much. And then a bag of Fritos that costs, 50 cents.
Yeah. What's the thing? There's like a Harris Teeter or a Giant right next to it. And you know for a fact they were like, "Oh, damn, we ran out of chips. We forgot to order them," or something like that. And
I'm thinking back. This may be how they serve it now. Because I ordered Glory Days, I feel like last month, because occasionally we'll do it for takeout. Right. And I like to get the buffalo dip. I love the buffalo dip, or at least I used to. And I'm like 95% sure when I got it last time it came with Fritos. And I think I was like, oh, maybe it's because it's takeout, so they just threw Fritos in there. That was my thought about it.
I don't get it.
But you were in the restaurant and they're using Fritos.
I understand that. Okay, Fritos scoops are great.
Yeah,
but at the same time, don't serve me scoops when I paid $9 for a buff dip. And I paid $9 and you give me a bag that you literally got out of a vending machine. And then all of a sudden I'm sitting here eating vending machine Fritos and buff dip that look like glue.
Yeah, I don't like that. That is just that's sad because it definitely used to, because that buffalo dip actually used to be pretty darn good.
Yeah, it was good like 3 months ago when we had it.
All right, so I'm pulling up the menu right now, menu with pricing. Because I'm curious, and it is specifically for this location.
Okay.
So because you can do that, the buffalo chicken dip, $9.99. And let me see. I'm curious. Let me zoom in here because it says served with tortilla chips.
Yeah. See.
So this menu's lying. They're lying. You could sue these people.
Yeah.
It says
false
grilled
advertising.
Chicken, mild buffalo sauce, and cream cheese served with tortilla chips for $9.99.
Unbelievable.
I mean, that is insane. You cannot just throw a bag of Fritos onto probably defrosted buffalo chicken dip. Is probably what they did. They made some terrible batch and they like froze it, and then they were like, all right, we'll just microwave this for 45 seconds and serve it in a little bowl. That's sad, man, because the buffalo chicken dip used to be pretty solid there. I remember that was a thing. Because when Abby, I remember specifically because when Abby was pregnant, there were certain things she could eat and certain things she couldn't, but
Right.
she really liked the salad at Glory Days, but like the mac and cheese and things like that. So she would get that, and I would get myself a bunch of wings and
course.
and a buffalo chicken dip. That was and they used to serve it with multicolored tortilla chips. It was the tortilla
Right.
chips where it was like, here's a purple chip and here's like a regular chip. Like that is specifically my memory, and it
Yeah.
was great. Wow.
You know who has some money buffalo chicken dip is Sully's. Sully's has
Okay.
some,
Yeah, I
some
haven't had it. Yeah.
They have the rainbow colored chips, and
Yeah.
they're nicely salted. Looks like how I like them.
Yeah, that's how it needs to be. A nice salted tortilla chip, nice warm, creamy buffalo dip. You don't want it to be a paste. It's
Yeah.
gotta have, but it's gotta be. Man, that is disappointing. That is and they're lying. They're lying to their customers.
Exactly. Well,
We
that's
need
the thing.
investigation.
I specifically remember now that you mentioned it, looking at the menu, and because we were like, well, Fritos, and all of a sudden
where in here does it say Fritos?
yeah, and we looked at it, and then Jess was like, "Isn't that illegal? Like, can they not do that? Like, it's like this is obviously a Frito. No one else makes this type of chip.
Right. It has and it doesn't even honestly like I felt the tortilla chip works better with the buffalo dip. I like Fritos, but for me, I like those tortilla chips better with the buff dip.
You know what the funny thing is though is that, whenever we go to a bar, I always sit there and I'm like, you know what, I like to own this place. Because like you think about it, and you're like, what could you do better? Like when you walk into a place, you always think about, well, not always do it, but I do it. I'm like, well, I would like to do this over here.
Oh, dude, I have the same thoughts. No, that's why I love that John Taffer show when he goes in and like changes up the restaurants and stuff. And Gordon Ramsay does it too, like Kitchen Nightmares. Like, no, I love those shows because I'm always like, man, I would kill it if I was running a restaurant. Because I know what customers like and don't like.
Right? You don't sit there and I mean, Glory Days over there. First of all, I love all the TVs. They even have a TV that's like 90 inches.
Right.
It's nuts. And I love how every football Sunday they always have all the games on.
They still have the thing on your tables where you can like tune into the audio for the different TVs.
I think it's an app now. So the app has, and there's always that number on the bottom of the TV.
Okay.
Where it says like 7.
Because they used to have the little like speaker box on your table, and you'd be like you turn it to whatever one the TV was.
Right.
That was kind of cool.
Well, yeah. Well, it was also cool when Silver Diner had the workable jukeboxes, but then that's just chaos. But at the same time, you're thinking about it and saying they have the app, and you like put it, because everyone has phones now. But but the thing is that they basically, I just don't get it, because you walk in there and they have 30 TVs or some crap, but they have like 3 TVs on like Cartoon Network.
Yeah,
and
that was always a weird thing with Glory Days.
Cat Dog is on or something like that. And you're just like, can you change this TV? And
I understand like people bring kids in, but you don't need it on 3 TVs. Like put one TV as like the designated, like, hey, this is going to be like, if you have kids, like here, you can have them look at that TV, I guess.
Right. Yeah. Look at that TV and have no sound.
Right.
Exactly.
But
the best part is like, then they have like skates that are dusty, and like the skates that like freaking Wayne Gretzky wore when he was a kid. Like it's like they're all dusty out there. They have like a football that was stuck. It was like going to whatever that place was, backyard, and they had like a wombat's cage circled back around up in the rafters.
Glory Days was, at least maybe it was just better because I was younger, but like I remember it being kind of a cool thing back in the day. But yeah, I think it
was cool because that was like the premier sports bar that you took your kid to after his Little League game.
Right, because it was like a family-friendly atmosphere, but you could also go if you and your buddies or whoever want to go watch the game. Like, you could easily do that.
Right.
Like, I definitely have been to Glory Days in the past for, like, March Madness and stuff, and you just, like, post up in a booth and just eat some wings and drink some beers, like, for hours watching the games. I mean,
exactly.
Man. No, that is disappointing, because I'm telling you, we need to investigate this, because you can't just be throwing a 50-cent bag of Fritos on this plate and calling it a $10 buffalo chicken dip.
Yeah,
I don't know. We're coming for you, Glory. I need an investigation, because
we're coming for you.
Here's what needs to happen: is either this week or next weekend, I need to order Glory Days, and I need to order the buffalo dip, and then I'm going to take a picture and report to you what I've got. Because
you should put it on Yelp. You probably be like some like investigative journalist.
Yeah, I mean, I'll write. I'll do the investigate. I'll take a day off work and just go do this. I mean, I'll be honest.
You'll be the next Gordon Ramsay saying like, I'm here in Northern Virginia.
Yeah, they're going to be like,
with a fine establishment.
Why would we care what you think about our restaurant?
called Glory Days.
I used to be a Yelp guy. I used to write a lot of Yelp reviews for restaurants. I still have the account somewhere because I remember once I wrote a bad review about Bar Taco and they responded back and they were like, hey, like we'd like to discuss this or something like that.
Like, I don't want to talk to you
because I said like overpriced and like not that great. I was like I can get better tacos like anywhere else. I was like this is but
I agree though. I agree with that review though.
Overpriced.
I've been there once. I got 3 tacos and it was like $13.
Yeah,
$13. I'm like, dude, the taco was the size of
they're tiny. They're tiny. Yeah.
It's
they're What? And then their margaritas are like $15. It was it's
a whole debacle.
It's a typical Reston scam. But anyways, we got that is the show today, folks. I know there's Weird Dreams, Glory Days, and Mystery Seltzers.
Coach Laviolette
is the title of this episode. That's for sure. This is what these summer episodes are going to be like. Well, I guess spring right now, but for the summer as well. We're just going to be, kind of BSing a little bit. We'll touch on sports stuff every now and then. We will be covering the draft stuff. So for the Commanders fans out there, obviously we know the sale of the team's going on. Big stuff with that. And then
what if we bring on John Z for the first pick in the draft analysis?
That's not a bad idea. We got a couple weeks to plan that, so we'll see. That's not a bad thought there. So the Commanders talk, we'll definitely get into that, and then the summertime, the off season pretty much starts. Pretty much like after the draft, I feel like is when we'll just start our off season.
2 weeks
at this point, or we'll wait till your baseball season's done. Then we'll hit the off season button for sure. Drafts and all that stuff coming up in the coming months. Besides that, you can find the show on Twitter at the DC Crossover and at Cerrone16 and TikTok, DC Crossover Podcast. I'm sure we'll get some good clips out of this one.
Oh, yeah.
We will see you guys next time. This has been another episode of the DC Crossover. Take us out, John.